contract is this? The S&P? S&P futures and NASDAQ? Ugh. Oh, you can catch that. It's the S&P and NASDAQ. This is the this one is the S&P. This one right here. These two are the ES futures. ES futures, and then this is the NASDAQ on the right side. This one. NQ NASDAQ futures. You can tell by the price. The DOM on the Jigsaw is lagging a bit here. Hey, Mr. Nightfire, what's up, man? How you been, brother? Think you were going to Thailand or something? Last I remember, this was like almost half a year ago. Still in Quezon City? Nice. Where is Quezon City? PH. Got it. Fucking love. Good morning, Manilo. Pretty inverted day. I mean, the Dow is going straight up, and the Nasdaq is going straight down. Learning AS and QLB trading those two contracts. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend trading two at the same time or learning two at the same time. I would probably recommend just learning one. I don't even trade both, to be honest. I only trade the S&P. I very rarely trade the Nasdaq. I just watch them together. As far as trading, watching is different than trading. I just watch the Nasdaq because there's a correlation or an uncorrelation. Sometimes they decouple, and I need to be aware of that. Like you can see, there's a very very clear discorrelation right now. Look at this. Look at the S&P. It's barely starting to react to it. For some reason, the Jigsaw DOM is lagging hard. The data is still behind. It says we're trading. No, DOM says 706. We're clearly at 7K. So, gonna have to ignore it for now. Oh, big flush. Q tag the weekly view up. Well, I'm not sure what that means, but okay. I don't really watch anchored view up, so I'm assuming that's support or something. What's getting a dump on the Nasdaq? There's got to be something. What is it? Oh, wow. All the software names. What the fuck? It's got to be related to Palantir uh earnings or something. All the software names are down. The whole group of them, from cybersecurity to consumer or business B2B. This makes you, okay. Yeah, I don't really have anchored VWAP, so I can't really speak on how good they are or not. I never watched them. I think we have jolts at 7 in the next 15 minutes. Not sure if jolts will get us moving, but we'll see. They're reclaiming here pretty good. That was a pretty quick squeeze. We'll see if it holds. For scalping, for sure. I mean, I don't think you need to have the correlation for scalping. I don't scalp, so you know, every trading style requires different set of data or information to execute, make decisions. Good morning, Mr. Wonder Chanko. Jeez, the Dow is, man, that thing's really doing well today. There's a big rotation happening today. So I don't know, a lot of tech software names and a rotation into Dow. That half the Dow is green, and it's pretty green. But overall, I wouldn't say like this is a bit. Nasdaq's putting a damp on things because that select group of stocks are just getting pulled hard. Yeah, there is a rotation. It's a very clear rotation. I mean, you can see it based on if you just open up a chart for the Nasdaq. Here, sorry for the. I mean, it's a clear rotation, a very clear rotation. There's no need to assume. It's right here. Look, you just go here. Look at Dow Jones. Half of it's green. What sectors? Financials, consumer staples, industrials. You go to Nasdaq. It's all the software names and some chips. There's a clear winner and loser so far in the morning. Ugh. We're coming into yesterday's value low. 993, 992. Ugh. Your shoes on. Oh, your socks, yeah. Hmm. Um, it is like in a few minutes here. Like a lot of stops there on that dip, it looks like. Bunch of red just kicked in right at the 80s. Yeah. Nasdaq just got wrecked. This. It's gonna continue to fail. I like the revisit. I think I have the plan here. The retest of 75s. We can test 75, touch that major put wire wall, and then reclaim back above. Pretty good. The single print at 67. Somewhere around here. 67.5. See if we can tap that level. I think he's coming back into that cluster of support. It's right at the 570, 550 area. Give it puts a floor there while the S&P trades right here into the prior resistance from last week. $500. Is it drop? Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. If it drops like this, usually there's a pullback. You sell into the pullback if you're short biased. I don't think this is a, I can continue lower, but when you sell like this, they usually have a snapback and then you short into the pullback on a move like this. I like longs here, so I'm waiting to see if I can catch a long. I'll try here at 75. We tested 68, not 67, but I like it. Trying to put a bid here, but they won't fill me yet. Put a bid here at 76 if they fill me. Time is 7:04. I take off a bid. I'm gonna wait. They can put another low in. We'll run this low and then I'll see if I can add. And the zone here is the one I want to be a bidder at. The 7.5s. See if they can break the slow here and then put in a trap right here. Touch, come down something like this. Let him take out this low. And then I'll get long on this account here. Give this hold a poly bid here. A bit here. Ideally gets a nice push up above 75s here right away, but it's pretty slow. Nonetheless, I'll take the bid. I'm gonna have a pretty wide stop because I need to see this come down. It's 46s. But overall, it's pretty strong sell. They seem to fail breakouts above 77k 15ish. We failed many times trying to break that area out. So if we can't get above within the next, I don't know, 7:30, next 30 minutes, hour, above 780s or 980s on the S&P, it probably fails again. We come down quite a bit. Right now, I just like the fact that it pierced the prior low. Just trying to reclaim, probably putting a squeeze pop into like the 80s, 88, or I'll scale somewhere around here, 85, and then 93, and then go from there. So it's just putting in it, like I said earlier, like before I took the trade. I wanted to see like break this low and then reclaim and then test here. Somewhere around here I'll scale and then I'll scale more around here and then hold a runner. But we'll see. The Nasdaq's at a zone from critical zone here. This area. It's a 2-day low from last week. I think it's a Thursday and a Sunday low, or Thursday and or Wednesday and Friday low. Right here at this area on the Nasdaq. So there's some support there on a daily frame. But I like the bid here. We'll see. They got to get above 75s and then test the 80 sums, like 80, 85, 88, and then 93, and I'll scale between those areas. Like the plan says right here, the plan that I wrote, right? The plan here was to get long in this area. Take out the single print of 67. We just did that right now, exactly to the tick. And then hold 75 and then 88, 99, whatever will be my scale spots. So can't get above 75. You can see that's the wall. They can't reclaim the 75. You saw it, the tape, it hit it twice. And so far, nothing. Still a whole lot of nothing, man. There's a lot of weakness here. This is the overnight high from Sunday. It's like it's a giant cluster pivot area. We hold below 75s. We hold below it here still in the next, I mean, let's just say at the end of the hour, and we're just going to come back down to 30s again. 930, 940, and we end up back in the chop zone. It's been a massive chop, this whole fucking range. We consistently break above this massive chop area. We stay within it, we break above it, fail back, come back inside. Fail below it, come back inside. It's been a consistent just churn back and forth within this 40-point cluster. And we'll see if we can break out and continue this time around. We've been doing this for weeks now, or months. Months. So the levels are becoming mushier and way more slippery as we trade back and forth within the same range for a few months. Probably gonna add on this one too. Same trade. 84. You see there's a lot of effort trying to hold price here, but who knows if they can. What's up, Coco? Oh, I gotta stop down. There's a lot of effort trying to push us past. They're failing, dude. I'm probably gonna get stopped out. They keep trying here. You can see all the delta coming in here on the DOM. They're trying to push out of this area, and they haven't got any reward. My win rate, I don't look, man. I don't know, dude. Like I can look at it, but to be honest, like my win rate usually is high, and my profit factor is high because I have like 14,000 for January so far built-in profits, and I requested about 4,000 already earning payouts. I don't know, like my win rate's probably like 60% or so. I can look at the stats if you need me to. I don't have them here. I can have to generate them in a report, but these are all funded accounts. They're let's see, 8,000 plus 4 and 4 was a 5, 9 plus 8, $18,000 in profit between 3 accounts for the month of January. Which this is like what, the second day of February trading. And here, this is and I've already requested about, I don't know how much in profits this month on these 3. It's the same one, same accounts here. Let me just pull it up. But I don't scalp. Here's the thing. I'll swing trade. I'll hold a position for a few days or a day or more weeks. It really varies. I don't have make random trades. The thing next to my head, you know, there's my plan. Those are my zones of interest, what I'm looking for. It's right next to my head. It's a Substack. I write those out every day. Here, watch. Payout. 4,500 I've requested out of the 18,000 that I have in profit. It's right there. All from January. So I don't know how to answer that question. Like if you're looking to see if I make money, it's right there. If that's your general question. I feel like that's the general question without asking directly. You know, they'll ask for the win rate and the Profit factor, I think you're trying to ask if I actually make money. I think that answers that. Yeah, they keep failing below 75. I'm gonna cut this trade on one of the accounts. I took it long on two, but I'm just gonna cut it on this one because I do not like the way they're absorbing price underneath 75. This is super weak. I'm not a fan of this shit. I'm gonna cut this trade here too for a small loss and just wait it out. Honestly, if it reclaims, great. You know, it holds. That's amazing, but I'm not a fan. You can see clearly the price has been trying to reclaim above 75. There's a thick wall of selling just holding it back right here. Tons of buy delta, not enough reward. If it reclaims and pops, that's fine. I'm not gonna hope at this point that they break out. They seem to be failing so far. It's probably a better short than anything. There's a rip. See if it holds or not. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this trade. I cut it already. I'm not long or anything. This area I like for longs, but right now it's looking kind of trappy, like it wants to fail. So the amount of delta you're seeing and the lack of reward so far, who knows if this is gonna change. But the fact that they're trying so hard here to break above here and their amount of failures we've had, this is as far as I can see, a potential pop and then fail and then come back inside this range again. This whole range. So we'll see. I've been watching your videos and you're incredibly accurate at finding short-term entries. Thanks. I mean, I win some, you know, I lose some. Overall, my wins are bigger and I'm right more often. Profits there for it. I explain how I look for those zones, the short-term entries you find. I explain them. They're written out every single day on this website. You know, they're not. It's not guesswork. You know, I look for them. I identify them in advance. I write them out days prior using context from volume profile and other things. Anyway, I'll be back in a bit. I gotta take my son to school. I'm back in like 15 minutes. All right, we're back. We're still in the same zone. Okay. I'm gonna try here. It looks like they might hold this time. The IB formed and the slow, yeah, kind of grindy. We'll see. My invalidation will be the break of the IB. I like the fact they failed. Or not, yeah, not failed per se. They still are pretty much holding us at the lows. But I like the invalidation of the IB low break. So I'll enter back long here. Seems like they try to defend the 50s, which is the midpoint of the entire range. Not a huge fan of this setup, but if they fail to break the IB, we're going to test the IB high. Yeah, the Valerie low, yeah. And it failed too. Might break down the Valerie low this week. Yeah, I mean, it can't. NQ is super weak. NQ can do anything right now. It can definitely fail harder. But overall, pretty limp action for the Bulls today. Yesterday was a downtrend, uptrend, parabolic trend up, and today seems like a potential parabolic trend down. I like the idea of them reclaiming past 75s, but it seems like the volume's pretty fidgety. Let's see. It's pretty fidgety. On the higher time frame, the Nasdaq looks terrible. It looks really ugly. The S&P looks like it's just having a pullback, and it could potentially begin to just back into the chop zone if they hold. The longer we hold below 70s. More like 75 to be exact. So again, if we hold longer, we hold below here. This is generally pretty much the entire. If we look at a profile, this is pretty much going to be where the balance of it is. So as long as we're below 75, we are more prone to come back into 20s on the S&P, which is likely. Like again, I took a long here at 68. My assumption is they trap bears here, and we might come back and backtest. We backtest the breakdown, and if they from there we see this is the breakdown, right? So we broke down in this area. We didn't backtest it on the way down. Let's see. And then backtest. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, 9.3, somewhere around here. 707 to 9.3 is where we broke out of, or broke down from this morning. If it doesn't backtest today, then we'll probably need a backtest some other day. Some point in the future, who knows when. But overall, Nasdaq's limp. Got no balls. See if we can hold above. Ugh. Needs to hold at least 600s on the Nasdaq. Nasdaq's pretty screwed up here. But I have faith. Just kidding. I don't have faith. I just think there's a good shot here they trapped. For now. We'll see. The tape says that it's not there. The DOM says that there's no trap. See what the market profile looks like on the month. Yeah. We're at the pretty much the January, see? Balance area. We're at the January balance. If we can't reject this area, meaning push away from it to get above 70s. And again, this is where the low volume node is. If we can't push above it, then yeah, we come back down to this area, which is the 20s, like I said earlier. The profile pretty much just states that so far. But if we can't push past the 75, which is where we keep rejecting, if you look at this morning's rejections, ton of buy delta and no reward. This is where they are holding it below. As long as we're below this, come down to 20s. So I'm probably wrong on my trade here. The best thing to do would probably be wait to hold 75s and not trying to front run it. So hence likely my stop get a hit right now for trying to trying to front run the idea here instead of waiting for it to hold. Tisk. There's my stop out. There's a lot of volume trading right there too. Look at that. 500, 600 lots, all at 56. All clustered in there, a few ticks. They're holding it again. Buy delta. Anyway. Again, the idea is that they don't break the IB low, that they trap. The IB low is this low right here, the 54.25. But they don't break that. They trap the sellers who are betting that it's going to tag and break past it, and then they squeeze them up, and then we test the IB high, which is all the way at 717 or at 70.17. That's a pretty extreme move. I like the risk reward, so I'm willing to bet on it because the IB high is all the way at the 70.17. So pretty high up there. But we'll see. Oh shoot, close my chat. Anyway. Boom. Boom. And there we go. Those 1,000 lots that got absorbed right here at 56. It looks like someone's trying to agree with what I'm saying. Someone absorbed passively right here within these 3 ticks on the tape. And then and then if you notice right after the buy delta kicked in right after. A bunch of buy delta came in on the column. And now they're squeezing again. See that? So someone came in on the tape right here. I said, look at all that cluster of orders right there within 3 ticks right here. And then the buy delta kicked in right after. You can see it on the right side of the column as blue. And now we're reclaiming back above 60. So someone's agreeing with what I'm saying. They're trying to trap below, assuming the bears are trying to take out the IB low and then trapping them in it and essentially reversing price to reclaim back above here to begin a snapback into, I would say, at least 90s where we back test the breakdown. Again, we broke down out of this area, so we'll likely back test it from underneath. Yeah, a lot of volume on the NASDAQ here at the low end, but we'll see. Again, that's the idea. We'll see if the market agrees. The participants that are trading today, they can have some sort of advantage or leverage in the market, whether that's market makers, with their gamma levels, or because there's a gamma level here too. If you think, you got to consider is that also there's these 2 gamma levels here that I have. We have these major gamma zones that are kind of also holding. NQ has also left a wick on the last month TPO. Is that like a poor low you're thinking needs to be cleaned up, I'm assuming? The thing is, like, those things get cleaned up and they do work, but they don't happen when on our timetable, right? They don't happen on the time during the times that we expect it to work. They happen when they want to. I don't ever reference those, to be honest. I look at them, but I know they're there. I know what the idea is around them, but I don't really use them as a reference because I've seen the S&P do it many times, leave poor highs everywhere, along with the tail end wicks, and they clean up. I mean, look at the S&P profile. Look at this one, right? Like, you have a ton of this. This is a massive amount of it too here. And it cleaned up, right? Like all of it's getting cleaned up today, pretty much. So I know that profiles clean up. It's just that it's hard to, where's the risk, right? And where's the reward? And they work, but not on our timetable. There it is. There's the Ripper. You're getting the delta momentum. Here's 75. Her reclaims. You get the retest again of that same zone, 90s for all scale. So the tape agreed. If you were here, if you saw this, this is a good time to rewind the tape or later today and look at what happened here on the DOM. Someone was there, or a few people, whoever. I don't really give a shit who it was. But something happened on the tape right there at that end. Should have added, but I didn't have conviction, to be honest. The tape was pretty much not a high conviction tape for me. But we're about to hit VWAP here. That's where I'll scale. Right at the VWAP for the session, which is 89. And we'll scale more at the target is ultimately the IB high. The IB high, I know it sounds crazy, but the IB high is at 70.17. That's where the IB high is right now. And that's where I'll scale more. Up here. 70.17. So defensively, from a risk management standpoint, I'm going to scale near the at VWAP. Right here. Give or take a few points. I might scale at 85. I don't know. You know, I'm not really dead set on this. My main priority is to mitigate risk. So I'm not married to the idea of having to hit 89. I'm willing to take profit at 85, 84 to mitigate risk. So we'll see. I'm not sure if it'll hit. If it hits, that's where I'll scale. 9 minutes to close, maybe. Yeah, maybe. We'll see, I guess, right? I don't know if I'm wrong right yet. We haven't really tagged VWAP or anything. But that's where the plan says to long anyway. I mean, to take profit. It's funny because VWAP is right where I said, here's my first take profit. I'm not sure if I'm let me see. I gotta see what you can see on fucking OBS. Oh, you can't. Oh, shit. Right here. I didn't even know you couldn't see it. Here's the plan right here. You can see that 988 is the first take profit zone on this trade setup, if it works. And that is more or less where VWAP is today too, which is ironic, but you know, they line up sometimes. Damn, what a rejection. Ugly. If this fails and goes back below 65, it's probably done. If that nice pop was momentum in it, it really failed. Ugh. Look at all that selling, bro. Yeah, they keep rejecting that big, large volume node, bro. Massive. That's a good high time frame short there, honestly. This low volume node here. I'm not gonna take it, but it seems like the higher time frame, the monthly profile is definitely hinting at further downside pressure here. Look at the massive reaction we had as we probed into 75. It's a failed breakout they said up here. But we'll hold to what we got going on. What the trade plan is. The trade plan is to long this area. Why is my taskbar not opening up here, bro? Come on. Do I have to change the settings? What's going on over here? Keep trying to open my taskbar and it won't open. No. Low now? Come on, bro. Still won't open. Whatever. Fix it later. But anywho, the plan again, stuck to the plan. I'm gonna hold to the trade. The invalidation is the break of the IB low. That's where my stop is. So that was a nice retracement, I guess, in hindsight now. I mean, I was still going to hold my trade, but you can see it back tested where we rejected all morning and validated it right here. That's your validation here, that we're going to hold 70, the put wall right here. We're going to hold the put wall, and then we're going to retest higher. The NQ is a piece of shit today, so far, it seems, for longs. I would not even... Just looking at this, the bars here, man, this is messy as hell. What is this? Like, for every push up, you have a push down. You got... Look at this. Like, down, up, in the same amount of point value. I am not a fan of that. Again, I don't trade the NASDAQ. I look at it. I rarely trade it. I'm not a fan of that thing. It's too whippy. It's too messy. I use it as a reference. There's certain times where I can see the trade very clearly, and I don't trade it sometimes, and sometimes I will. There are days where like it's just a very obvious trade, and I'll call it out, but I won't trade it unless I have extreme conviction. I just don't like the thing. What's the pressure points on NASDAQ still? Dang, oof. The chips, now they have Shopify down 7%. Jeez, dude. Yeah, there's a lot of pain in the NASDAQ right now, dude. The heat map is just outright ugly for bulls. Look at this. There's nothing going on in the NASDAQ that's going to help this thing from getting out of where it is, that hole it's in right now. Hard. You see, there's a lot of bright red all over the map here. Travel names, health, some industrial, and a ton of software and chips. I mean, that thing is, in some regard, like, that means there's a relief bounce if it turns from extreme red to some degree of like just light red from what you saw on the heat map. There's a degree of bounce there, given how extreme the sell-off is in some of those names, but I'm not a fan of that. Creates a big tug and pull. Look at this thing. NQ's about to fucking drag it lower. Gross. I think I'm gonna take some profit here in a bit on the S&P. I don't like the Nasdaq, dude. That thing is dragging shit down bad. We'll see if we can get some momentum, but I'm not a fan. Here's a new hour. Just started. You got that close on the S&P above a value area 75. So if it holds, we should be able to gravitate higher to backtest the breakdown. I'm gonna mitigate the risk here. I really do not like any of this shit. We'll take some off at 78. I don't like taking profit this early, but I have to. Given the tape and the Nasdaq's just dog shit action, just in case the stop out comes, it's protected. So stop out, it reeks me down. It takes me out. Oh, not yet. 77. So if it stops, I'm gonna mitigate risk at this point. I'm not a fan of this shit. If it goes higher, bless it, but yeah, if it stops me out, I lose nothing, I make nothing, pretty much. So I'll keep it at that point now. My main role is always mitigating risk, and I don't like the way the current I know when to hold trades, and I know when to scale them when I'm on the cautionary side, and this is one of those moments where I feel safer just mitigating the downside risk and capping my upside. As a risk manager perspective, given the kind of the landscape I'm working with for my current trade. So the landscape isn't really saying risk on long, so I'm mitigating risk by taking profits a little earlier than normal and then protecting the downside. So this stops me out, I'm still technically flat to loss based to commissions. Because my main goal is to mitigate risk, number one, and then make money on the second end of that. Because look, this is how, here, well, let's actually look at this. There's two way, and the reason this is even possible, the reason you can see that, how I mitigate risk, is very clear, because if we look at this, there's a nice little curve on my P&L curve that is a great example of how I mitigate risk, protects my P&L curve. Let's actually look at that. A visual is always better, right? Backed by a lesson. So let's look at the statistics here. So let's look at, doesn't matter which one. Let's look at this one. Look at all of them, just to be fair and equal, right? What is that? You can see here, let me make it smaller because its curve looks ugly otherwise. Ugh, why does it look like this? Whatever. Why is it zoomed out like that? Whatever. I'll zoom in. Okay, so you can see the P&L curve here. Just steady, steady, steady growth. Small, the dips, the downside, this is just a payout request. But you can see clearly that the account balance is a steady P&L growth, right? Nothing crazy, nothing too crack-like, just a steady growth curve. How do I... It looks ugly. Why are they loading the page like this? Normally it's cleaner. There you go. Ah, much better. I just need to refresh it. You can see the P&L curve. Like, see? This is a steady... This is a payout request here, buy me down, and then just steady, boom, 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 every day. You know? And, same thing here. Steady P&L curve. Right? Dip here is a payout. Another one. Payout. All the dips, the major dips are payout requests. Every single one. You can see steady increase, steady increase. Yeah. So, nothing exciting. Just steady growth. I have another payout processing today. And then maybe at the end of the week or at the beginning of next week, I'll have 2 more. So now, like, honestly, I don't really care what the market does. If it goes higher into, again, the profit zone that I'm looking for, I will scale some of the position up here, around here. If it doesn't, and I get stopped out, that's fine with me. I won't be stressed or worried about that. At this point, I'm more of a passive participant now, and just gonna let the market do what it wants. After the overnight session. Oh, I don't really watch gold at all. I don't even know what price it's at. I just saw a headline that it dropped one day, and that's all I know. I think it hit an all-time high of 5,000 or something. I don't know if I don't see the correlation between assets currently and gold, but I mean, if you trade it and you like it, by all means. You don't see it climbing higher? Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. Yesterday's pop in the morning, I think it was month end buying on the 1st of February, or well, the first trading day of February. So we'll see if yesterday's move is real. I think this is with the unwind potentially we're having today, is some of it was not real active buying, but mainly passive in fund buying. So today's a test to see if yesterday's action was real or not. We'll see where we close. I think we have some more tech earnings still this week. What is it? Let me look at my. Yeah. We have PayPal. Actually, not that big today. Tomorrow or Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow. It's Uber, Google. I guess ARM and Qualcomm. Thursday you have Amazon. Amazon, I guess. Reddit and Roblox. All right. Wednesday. Was engineered. I mean, honestly, this you can go back that you can go back. They've I think JP Morgan paid a fine like 10 years ago about, cornering silver or manipulating the metals markets, commodity markets. There's always been manipulation in metals. There's this guy who tried to corner the market on, I think it was silver too, back in like the 40s. There's always been shady shit in the commodity space because of the supply issue. So I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I mean, it's the same. I mean, if you think about it, it's very similar to what they did with GameStop, right? The only difference is there wasn't a margin requirement. They just removed the button to buy. So it's the same thing. They removed liquidity. They removed the ability to add liquidity to the momentum. So inevitably, like that balloon, that hot air evaporates. It's quite similar to what they did with GameStop. Yeah, the brothers, yeah. Yeah, they were trying to sell and they ended up getting wrecked, but same thing. The commodity space has always been manipulated, unfortunately. There's a long history of that happening time and time again. I mean, if you go back to even the government will fuck with commodities. I mean, if you think about gold, when they moved the gold, they moved the dollar off the gold standard. What they do to gold? Um, you know, when they remove the debased the dollar, it fucked with metals too, gold specifically. They took people's gold. It was illegal to own physical gold. They were messing with the supply demand of commodities. Even the government has done it. The commodity space has always had shady shit, because it's because it's simple, because it's supply and demand. It's not fundamental by nature like stocks have to some degree because of revenue growth, PE ratios, things like that. It's manipulated. You can manipulate it because of supply and demand. Natural gas, I'm sure at some point is getting. I'm sure they might have fucked with it too. And think about oil alone; it's a commodity, and it's also manipulated. They pin it, or they sometimes move it out of extremes on purpose. Yeah, exactly. They stole everyone's gold or took it, whatever you want to see it as, and then they raised the price for their benefit. It's no different. The only difference is the person doing it, the entity. Could be two brothers, investment banker, the government. It could be funds, whatever. They all do it. So again, I don't really trade a commodity space. I'm not really interested in it, but it's something that has a history of manipulation. All right, let's renew these gamma levels. What time is it? Ah, it's probably too early. I have to wait a bit more to renew the gamma levels, but I'll do it anyway. So far, it seems like that gamma level at 70 is still in works, but it might be fading out. It might be shifting the options levels here. Yeah, they shifted a little lower. Okay. Let's renew them here. Let's do the weekly ones too. I haven't done the weekly. Well, I did do the weekly early in the week, but we had a big move. Let's see this one, update here. So the gamma level moved lower. They moved it to 60 and 50 now. The NASDAQ, it's clustered together. I don't really like the gamma. The flip, the call, and the put are all in the same spot. That's bullshit. That's definitely wrong. Or it could be right. I mean, it makes sense because there's a cluster of fucking resistance right here. So if this is right, if we get above this cluster, we probably can rip into 920s right here. But so far, it's resistance. All that gamma seems to be compiled into between 600 and 620. Let's see where the weekly ones are. Sometimes it seems wrong, like above. But the NASDAQ one seems about right. Holding below that 7, the 600, 620. They might come back to that value low this guy said earlier. I don't think this chart is on the right time frame. Yeah, better. Explains why everything was looking so wide. All right. All right, back. Gotta go. I stopped out. All right. Well, That'll probably end it. You can reclaim again, I'll try, but choppy. We'll move lower, I think, for now. Let's see. See, this one made 40 bucks and still up green 40. This one's down 34. There you go. Because I have an open order on this one, we cancel that. Go. This one's up 600, the one that sent. This is from a swing trade that I closed last night. And then the other two are the ones I traded today. I'm in order. But if we reclaim, I mean, I'm willing to bid if we get above 70s again. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this trade. My only downside now is that they broke IB low. It's funny, the NQ did not make a new low. That's the weaker one today. I think it's related to the Dow, probably getting a pullback here. Overall, we're still holding below the volume node. On a high time frame, this might be a midterm bear until we test this area here. As long as we keep holding below this area, this large low volume node. Should break down. Yeah, break down past the 50s and into 36. Like where this value area low is for the week. Should break down and test here. Oh, those software names getting wrecked. I mean, Adobe down 6%. That's crazy. I mean, AppLovin down 3. It's not bad actually for a fucking high beta name. Zscaler, Intuit. Intuit's down 11%? Jeez. What is this related to? Workday down 7. A lot of things are getting wrecked in terms of tech land over here. Ugh. Ugh. This should flush here. We're trading at 53 here on S&P. They're not allowing it to trade lower. If we can reclaim 60 again. It was a star show. Sierra chart, Jigsaw is what I use. So this is Sierra chart, the main screen, and then the DOM on the left side is a Jigsaw DOM. Two softwares, but mainly Sierra chart. What bird happened to the bird? She got evicted, bro. She is now with my wife's sister. Definitely was an appeal for people, but she's gone. The way the DOM is trading here at the low of this session, it screams reversal, bro. There's not enough volume to break it down. It's really strange. I'm not willing to be a buyer at the low here because we should flush. Like this, the way the DOM is trading, it should just like flush lower here. It's starting to do it now. Given where we're trading and the way the profile looks on the day. But yeah, platform is Sierra chart. Sierra chart. And Jigsaw for there you go, sir. And reclaim somewhere around here. The 60 right there, that call, that put wall right there. And reclaim the put wall, I'm down along again. I'll try it, but probably smaller size. I won't try it full size again. Momentum's picking up here. See what I mean? Like the way the Dom was trading at the low, it just didn't scream sell. It said like it's screaming like reversal. It's very thin. Not a lot of interest to buy to sell below the day's low. I'll try it long again. Here, let's see. Where's the here. Anyway, we'll try it against the current low. I mean, not a huge fan of the setup, but I'll give it a shot given the reversal it's having and the reclaim. Try it on 2 accounts here. Got the right ones, right? Yeah. Against the low. And then we'll see how far this goes. I mean, it's a failed breakdown of this cluster. The tape is very weak overall, but you got to set up here and then a failed breakdown potentially setting up. It needs to reclaim above 60 though. It needs to reclaim against this put wall, this gamma level. Otherwise we go a little lower again. But this gamma level at 60 needs to hold. This gamma here, if it holds above this, we should get another relief pop, maybe around here, which I'll scale some into. See the delta on the DOM is picking up, pace is starting to accelerate. It's not indicating we're going higher, it just means there's more activity, and the activity usually leads to the actual move. So there's more activity coming in here after Euro close. We'll see if that results in a push away from this low or tuck back in and we revisit the 36s, or we come back and retest the 70s again. Dow is actually getting a little bit of a sell here now. It was doing really well this morning, and it's actually heading towards the open low. So either this is a little trap bounce here, and this Dow breaking down is gonna lead us lower. We'll find out. We couldn't reclaim the put zone. You know, the gamma level didn't really reclaim; it just tested it. So as far as I know, I'm wrong. Right here, they rejected it to the tick. Here's my stop out. They couldn't hold it. This low breaks. We should come down to 30s. Down here at the weekly value low. The NQ's already added, so if it breaks below that, it just can flush hard. Yeah, held 52 again. This is a little micro support area. I mean, it's a support from, it's the mid pivot from the entire range. Just bouncing at it, trying to hold it. Who knows if it breaks? If it does break, it should flush. It'll be similar to the breakdown from this morning at the 707. This morning at the 707, that was like micro support all night. It broke down, flushed. If it holds, you know, reverses, cool. I'm long. It didn't break the low. There's momentum coming in again. But if it breaks flushes, should come down to 36 and then 25 ultimately. And it'll clean up a lot of the profile from yesterday. Very, very annoying tape. Dow's breaking down right now as we speak, actually. Talking about that. Dow's actually breaking the low here. Let's see. Yeah, it's slightly below. See if it gets a bid or not, but Dow's trying to break down. The NQ is not broken down. It's still above the IBL, which is really strange. Seems like they want to break them all down in tandem and get a flush going. Because we haven't broken the IBL and then NASDAQ yet. And then the Dow is about to break the open low. And I'm not sure if they're trying to reverse them all in tandem or if they want to flush them all in tandem. It seems like they're lining it up for a move, all three of them to move together. Because the Dow is exactly at an extreme level on a low, and the NQ is an extreme level on low. And they were, earlier, they were spread out. So the NQ was selling off, the Dow was pumping up. They've lined them all up again. They're now converged. This tight consolidation, man, oh man. This is crazy. This is very tight. Look at this. It is super tight. You're gonna have a vicious move out here. They don't typically coil price this narrow. They're collecting a bunch of liquidity, so it should flush or pop from here, and it looks more like a flush than anything. The Dow broke down. The Dow's breaking down again. New low. It is crazy consolidation, guys. There's no news, right? I mean, this is strange for the time of day, but I don't know. Again, I'm long. I have a long bias here, and we'll see if they favor it. Everything technically, from a chart perspective, looks like we're going to dip. Even from a profile perspective, looks like we're going to distribute, but we just can't seem to break below. And then again, we have these gamma levels here. There's gamma levels here that are kind of, so to speak, artificial floors if they hold above. They're trying to devalue the option contracts for these specific expiries. So they need to hold above them, but we'll see. They hit 60 again there. What is it? Not even a specific time. They hit the 60 one more time and failed. Will price range? Probably. I think so. I mean, we've already hit the IBL. We've already hit the overnight low. There's not no other targets I can think of from an objective point of view that we can distribute any higher or lower. I mean, we can if there's news or whatever. But if you consider the landscape, like we have the Nasdaq that has endured all the pain in the world already. I mean, the heat map cannot get more red than this. I mean, this is an absolute anomaly of a day on the heat map. You got massive pain all across the board here. This is not a normal day, right? So for the most part, as far as pain goes, intraday to move us any lower, I think we've kind of reached somewhat the peak. So the floor, so to speak, is around this area. As for the Nasdaq here, unless something other tickers start going lower that are green. I mean, let's see what's red and green. Yeah, S&P is half red, half green. You got 290 names in the green and 209, 210 in the red. More green than red on the S&P. Mainly just the Nasdaq. We'll see. We shall see. They hit the put wall, rejected again. Update these levels here. You got the put wall move down. Look at that. The put wall moved lower to 20s now. So they moved the puts moved down lower. There's the dip coming. You just needed another test of that 60, I guess. Just flush me out here. I'm calling it a day, man. I'm gonna step away. I'll take the L, take the red day, and then I'll probably just watch the rest of the day. My stop's right there. They're about to tag it. Come on. Get it over with. Take me out. There it is. Stopped out. I'll take the red day here. How come earlier I could fucking taskbar, bro? Why are you hiding? There it is. We'll take a couple red here. 200, 300, red. And then the green on this one. I'll call it a day. Overall, it's continues lower. The profile on the daily looks like it wants to go lower. Just because there's a lot of distribution here. A lot of value, and looks like they want to distribute it lower. Somewhere around this area. There's a put wall right there at 20, so you know, maybe the 20s. Or maybe not, who knows. But overall, it seems like they want to distribute lower. I just don't know how much lower. This could be maybe another run of the lows, and then they just reverse it higher again. Overall, the price action today is not very friendly. Yeah, they broke the low by a couple points, and then they reclaim again. It's just a continuous cycle of the same price action. Treacherous. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those sessions. All right, well, I'm going to call it here. I'll be back another time, tomorrow. I'll see you, man. Take care.